Welcome back to the Glaze Studios oil painting tutorial. This is Gomati Sivasankaran. We are in class 13 of the Ardhanareeshwarar painting. It's a large canvas painting of half man, half woman, or a complete universe in a way. This is a lovely painting. It's got a lot of components. It's been a tough but interesting, inspiring journey. And that's how I feel, and I hope you also feel so. My name is Gomati Sivasankaran, and welcome back to this session. Let's just quickly go over what have we done so far, and then get on to the next steps of today's class. So, our sessions have been split into the basics. We started with the basics of understanding the canvas, doing layer one, wash one, and then we did references, studying the various references and how do we plan it, grade it, push it to the canvas, do the superstructure, draw the superstructure ourselves, and then we have moved on to blocking with or filling in. That was the layer two, and then we did start with layer three, and that's where we are with layer three. We are halfway down the lane with layer three, I think. And last class was essentially about working on the bull, and layering the bull, and also doing quite a bit of work going in and out, up and down, with a lot of accessories that me, Shiva and Shakti are wearing. We still aren't fully done. We have quite a bit to cover with the layer 3, but I think we will be able to do something considerable today as well. Let's see. Before we get started, yes, make sure you have enough replenishment, energy, drive, and so on. I have my cup of tea. I have a glass of water right there behind the camera. So I make sure that I am, in check of my own self first before we get on to the work. That is very much necessary. We have been talking a lot about it. Then, as regards the materials, the palette is the very same. I think you might not be surprised today that okay, she's going to pull up yellow ochre somehow and burnt umber. Yes, exactly. I think we are going to get started with a lion. Yay, the lion. So we want to give her, why do I say her? Lion or lioness? I don't know. Should it be? It's a lion, isn't it? So it's yellow ochre, definitely. That's going to be one of the colors. Burnt umber, yellow ochre here, burnt umber here. White, I do have titanium white left over. Okay, yes, you're asking me how far do you go with the. I try not to take too much of oil colors. I try to use whatever is there to the best possible. That's why titanium white is already here. We will take ivory black if needed. We will need it. I can see that. And then once we are done with the line, we are going to do a little bit different. I know we have few more components left to work on, but we will go back to the background. So that's going to be a lot of titanium white and primary blue. Yes. We want to have a light, what do you call, a kind of bluey mountain and a very light blue sky. We'll do that and then come back to all these tidbits because it looks like there's a lot of things going here and there, and it'll be difficult to paint over the background. So we'll do the background first and then come back to all these missing elements. Yeah. So that's the plan. So we talked about the colors, the palette, oil. It's the same linseed oil. I might need to refill. It's been a while. I might need a refill. I will do that somewhere in the middle of the session. Brushes, no big change. The very same brushes. They're also tired of me. but I have washed them clean. It's brush number 0, brush 1, 2, 3, 4 round, and brush 4 and 5 flat, and an angular brush. Let's see how far we will use all of them or some of them. Yeah. So those are the brushes. In terms of the picture, yeah, I think we should find another reference maybe for the line, or instead of just going again, getting more and more reference. Excuse me. We will use this as a base, and we will try to develop our own. Yeah. We are. I think we are quite ready with what we want to do today, isn't it? So should I move this camera to the front? Yeah, you want to see more of them, isn't it? So last time what we had done was just a super structure of the line, isn't it? It's missing a lot of components. So we're going to work on that first. Yeah, let's see where the camera is, where. Okay, and I'm going to take the 0 brush and check on if there is life left in the burnt umber. There is a little bit. I'm going to use that. So I like the structure of the the mouth and so on. We did not do much in terms of the detail, so I want to start doing that, drawing that one more time. So I am reworking on the overall structure of the face. Yeah. So I think I missed certain things like the eye angle. And also, I did not do in my case, I'm sure I did not do the iris or the pupil of the animal. I just did that blocking of a place or a space. Um, yeah, for where the animal's eye has to come. So I want to do that as well. I'm just working on the nose, slightly making that face, and he's smiling a lot. Yeah, there's this jaw. I am correcting. So if you look at the way I am doing, I'm just correcting. And if you think I'm going a slightly faster and you're also correcting, let me just guide you a little bit. And this is for ones who are feeling intimidated about drawing. Yeah, we were drawing with the help of the grids last time. Maybe it was slightly better. We have the grids also available, but in the last session wherein we were drawing, if you recall, we weren't really relying on the grids for these animals. We did rely a lot on the grids and follow the things to the T for Shiva and Shakti, but not for the animals already. And that could have made things go slightly out of proportion. If I have to explain things to you at a basic level, let's just think. Okay, let's put a T mark. Okay, can I draw that for you? Here, I'm just drawing a T mark and saying, okay, that in that T, where exactly is the eye going to come? So in the middle of the T is where the possibly the nose will have to come. But why will if this is the middle of the T, if this is the middle of the T, will nose come directly here? Yes, it might. But we want the face also to turn this way, isn't it? So if we want it to turn this way, then I'm just positioning the nose slightly away from that midline and also the mouth away from the midline. So it's going to create the angle. which means the eyeball, which we haven't drawn, it's only a darkened area. So I left it so I could show you. I'm going to take a little bit of titanium white, surprise, surprise. Yeah, and I'm going to make a circle there, okay? So I want the eyeball to look this way, so I'm just making that space here. So I haven't done anything great about it. I've just marked the space. Yeah, you see? It looks like it's looking this way, isn't it? And when we make further more details to the eye, it will start appearing perfectly to that direction. Yes. So I'm taking the burnt umber again. I'm going to place a dot inside the white space. Okay. Now he's looking really ouch. Yeah. Yeah. He looks angry. Yeah. But the angle, I have not done any details, but I'm just showing you the angle, just for the sake of understanding. Yes. So that was the angle. We have to, yeah, we'll make him slightly smiling because he's looking out. Yeah. And then the jawline, I just wanted to be slightly going this way, like a boat, because that's how the jawline is. I didn't do it properly last time. So I'm just finishing it up right. Marking the spaces of the mouth inside. We'll do that again one more time, with ivory black and a little bit of the red also, vermilion also there in the tongue. But just for the sake of us to get it right. So that's one. The face is kind of okay, but here is where the jawline is, isn't it? So I wanted that to appear appropriately here, and the nose. Yes. So I think we have the space kind of readjusted, at least in my case, where I had made some mistakes in the beginning. If you had been really sharp in doing animals better, some of you could have already been practicing a lot of animals and are much better than me. I still struggle with animals. I try to do justice, but it does take a while uh, with animals for me. So I'm just trying to see where all I could just build those contour lines for my own understanding as well, and be able to use that for the shading now that we will begin it, yeah, in a short while, yeah. So that's the adjustment I wanted to make before I get started with the shading as such. For the shading, yes, we are going to need yellow ochre. I will take brush number 1 round. Yes, right here. Um, to add a little bit of burnt umber to the yellow ochre, and I can also bring the camera down to show you. So I'm just mixing a slight bit of burnt umber to yellow ochre, so it gets to a slightly darker tonality. I wanted this, so that's the darker tonality, and I want the perfect yellow ochre also available. So I am, without any additions to the color, just the yellow ochre. I think I have a little bit of what I am using is called yellow ochre light, so it's by default lighter. But I wouldn't, really recommend this. You can always go for yellow ochre. That's a perfect shade. Um, It's only slightly lighter than the natural yellow ochre that I have. Yeah, I also have yellow ochre with me. So I have that, and for that I need another brush, isn't it? So I'm going to take brush number 2 round. Yeah, right here. So I will keep switching between this and that. So right now what I'm going to do is to start fill things in, isn't it? So for the first fill, it's going to be only pure yellow ochre, brush number 2 round. Let's fill the animal's face. And when I fill the face, I will pull up the color, that is the burnt umber from the contours. Yeah, I'll do that. Now you can see it. So I'm starting to fill the face. With yellow ochre, nothing else. But I'm also pulling in from the sides. And I'm working on it. While we are filling, I can explain a little bit on the bindi, the dot that we put in the middle of our head. So there is a lot of explanations and lot of versions to it. So it doesn't mean that the version I'm going to give is the only version. Okay, so there could be many other versions that you will hear, and maybe all of them are right. So, what I'm going to share with you is my understanding so far of what the bindi means and why my parents taught me to wear it. My father never liked my head without the bindi. It is often, thought of as a cultural thing. It's also thought of as a religious thing. It's close, but I will explain to you why. So, while speaking, I am switching over to uh, the burnt umber mixed with yellow ochre color. I'm going to use that for the hair. Okay, going along the contours that we made, and fill it in as much as possible, and then we will talk about what we are going to do in detail. Yeah. So yes, coming back to the bindi. So this is the one that is in the middle, the dot that we wear, women especially wear, is to first of all cover the temple or the central part of the forehead, which contains a chakra. In yogic language, we say that's the Ajna chakra. That chakra really whatever has to do a lot with how the brain functions and so on, a lot of things there. I don't want to go into the yogic discussions, but to overall come back to the point of why we are wearing a bindi there or anything there is to cover that central point. And if you look at medical terminologies or the way medics approach that area, middle of the um, eyebrows, this is the area that even doctors use, not all doctors, but the psychiatrists, psychotherapists use to hypnotize people also. Yeah. So I think there was always a prevalent fear that women need to be protected from any unwanted hypnotization or manipulation. So that was one of the reasons, one of the zillion reasons why women were asked to wear something to cover that area, middle of the temple. If you see some cultures, they wear something on the face, totally covering the face. So in a way they are also adhering to covering that part of the body as well. But in our culture, we are not required to wear anything to cover the whole face, but just to cover that middle of the forehead. Now you're asking, the middle of the forehead is slightly bigger. You put a tiny dot on your head and they say it's going to cover. That's a very good question, and we are all caught. My grandmother used to wear a very big circle in her forehead. That's exactly how we were expected to wear. But with time, this bindi turned into a fashion. Yeah. So it's no more about the logic. We wanted to look, you know, perfect to what we are dressing and so on. And the culture that we are in, we wear Western clothing. We wear, sometimes we wear our own traditional clothing also. So to something to fit into all this kind of changes in costume, a single simple dot that is hardly visible kind of looked perfect. So that turned into a fashion, and there's a huge industry that is making bindis, fashion bindis, meaning really designer wear. So it's got so many shapes and colors and fun things that's going on the forehead of women. Especially during festivities and so on, then you see the women wearing so many other things alongside. So that is one part of why it turned into that smaller size or really different sizes and colors and so on. But the logic primarily dates back to the covering of that central part of your forehead, which is the spot where a human being can be asked to focus or can be manipulated also. Yes, that was one of the primary reasons. So, and with tradition, it also became so important that a forehead without that really is so empty. And in our Hindu traditions, it also started connecting with women that are married when we wear it exactly on our. I'm going to show it like this. So look at the way I am wearing it here. And if somebody is wearing it really here close to the hairline, then it could be showing that somebody is married. Yeah, the person is married. So it also connects to that, but not necessarily. In some cultures, it has another meaning. So don't really calculate with that. But it could be that meaning. At least in my culture meaning it doesn't mean Indian culture. There's a lot of different cultures in India. Whenever I hear Indian culture, I am also confused because I do not know what that is. There is no, yeah, you can say on a overall basis there is Indian culture, but to go into integrate details, you will see a lot of variations within Indian cultures when you go east, west, north, or south. For example, this painting itself that we are making, if I were to make it in another culture within India, then instead of the lion, it would be a tiger. Yeah. So that's kind of different that I wanted to touch base on. So coming back to the bindi, yes, so it's got a lot of that reasons to go to connecting to the marriage as well, and that also came about that when somebody unfortunately loses her partner, her husband, then she stops wearing something or anything on the forehead. That's an empty forehead. That kind of denotes that she could be a widow. Um, the really old traditions were wanted women to wear completely white, letting go of color and so on. But with time, it isn't practically possible. Women are coming out, working in the open, doing great things, and it didn't make sense that women continue to wear anything completely white and always running about that. So practicality reasons, women who are unfortunately, in that position, um, also, you know they might stop wearing anything on their forehead, but it's also a choice. It's not really forced. You could have a dot on your forehead. It doesn't really matter, but it's really personal. So there is a lot going on in terms of the bindi. My family, my parents, everybody really prefers that I have something on in my forehead. So I try to, once I am taking my bath and fresh, and I make sure that I'm wearing it. So that's the story, short backstory to Bindi. In case you know something else, some other versions, questions, you can always write on that as well. So we have essentially filled in the base pot with this color, and I'm using going back to the yellow ochre and filling in the rest of it with the rest of the body also with this color. Then we will start working on doing some shades to the animal. Yeah. So we are going to take the easy route here. When you have the lighter color, that is the yellow ochre, and now the yellow ochre mixed color and the hair. And when I did while I was speaking to you, you saw me filling out that area where we changed the hand of Shakti. Yeah, that's done. When we are drawing the details of the forehead, you will see that the Ajna Chakra, or that's also called third eye. mm, The third eye is open for Shiva. That's how we are going to draw that forehead. I think you already see that in some of those references, but not clearly though. I am going to, I don't think it is clear in any of these references. Or it is, but then it's ever so lightly done. So we are going to do that. It's the third eye that's usually open for him. Maybe that's why he's so angry. No, 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 not necessarily. But he knows more. The third eye is that's exactly where the knowledge lies. And that's why this temple is so important, isn't it? It's, I think. I don't know about games, but in some of the games I have seen the helmet also covers that temple area, or whatever accessory the players wear, slightly covers the area if their game is really of a dangerous kind, to protect that area, isn't it? So there's a lot of scientific reasons as well. But of course, we turned it into fashion, and now we are wearing it so small. Yeah, I feel everything about the animal in a monotone, just like what we did in our previous um, layer. Now we are going to handle it with ever so light changes. And so, in the last sessions, you have seen me mixing colors and using them. Now you're going to learn how to mix colors directly on the canvas. So, right now, I want you to take ivory black and burnt umber separately. I have a little bit of ivory black with me, burnt umber. Here you go. Yes. And we have two brushes in our hand. I think we can juggle with the same, doesn't matter. So I'm going to show you what I have here. You see burnt umber here and there is ivory black. Okay, what do we start playing with? We're going to play with the dangerous one, the ivory black. And I'm taking the brush number 1. That's how we are taking it. Moving this, going close to the animal. Yes, let's make him look better. So I'm going to start. Where exactly is that contour where the shade is? So you see that, it's coming. That's where the face is, isn't it? So we already drew it. Let's use that and make it darker. And look at the way I'm pulling it out. And I'm pulling some of the strokes into large ones. Some of them are shorter. Yeah. Take some more of the black. I want to make it darker in some places, so I'm just going with the black, playing with it. And then just be aware that it doesn't show that dark here. So I'm switching over to the burnt umber. It gets blended with the black, and that's perfectly okay. Making those shades. I want to add the burnt umber also in the blacky area, so it doesn't really look totally ivory black. I wanted to have that combination of color. And look at the way I'm doing it. I'm using the same brush and I'm blending it, mixing it here live. Yeah. If you are not comfortable, you can try to work on mixing those colors separately and then applying them in separate places. But then I think the naturality comes when you yourself decide where you want the lighter color to appear and where you want the darker color to appear and so on. Yeah, I'm using that burnt umber from underneath in the opposite angle, kind of giving that angle. We will work into the details later, but just giving that angle to the animal. Yeah? Yes, going to give a slight bit of darkness on the contours as well. Yeah, it looks so good already. And a slightly, yes, watch out kind of look. Yes, so we are going to use the burnt umber, and maybe you have the black. That's okay. To go in between the shapes of the leg and blend it in ever so lightly, so that the what side of the leg isn't visible, that could be what do you call affected by the shades, then that's the side that you want to work with. Okay, there you go. And also the tummy area, the underbelly, I think that's got slight darkness to it. So I have done that here. And I'm going to do one other thing. Use the other brush, and that's got yellow ochre only in it. Now I'm going to add a bit of titanium white directly onto this. Look at what's going on. Yeah, just feel it. Just see that it's just shifting the gears and giving another highlight and giving another tonality to it. You can blend it in. All right, blend it in. Then it gets slightly edgy. The color is really edgy. Experiment with this. Even though you're nervous about it, experiment with this. There's nothing wrong about it if it is going haywire. We have many layers to cover up also, where we will work on the details of the hair, string by string as well. So it's okay that you experiment. Maybe it doesn't come out right. It's okay. Just do this. And I'm going to use that uh, titanium white and blend it into the leg also in some of the places to give that impression that there is this, light falling on it. And also a bit on the tummy area and just blend it in. Yeah. So that was the one. What else can we do with the white? Yes, we can work on the face. Where exactly is the white going? Right in between here. That's the chin area, the nose, and the space between the nose and the mouth has got a bed of white. Oh, yes, he does. It's got white, titanium white mixed to the forehead and also a place close to the eye. So the way I have blended it, it doesn't show that I have added titanium white, but in these places I have left them really open in a way, sort of, showing that I haven't completed it. And this is good enough for me. I want to use this yellow ochre left over in another place. Where is that? Okay, I'm just looking at it if I have missed anything else. No, it's not the yellow ochre. It's got to be the black. Yeah. So I'm going to move back to the zero brush, take a little bit of the ivory black, and I'm going to use that for the nails. Ah, it looks totally black. Do the nails have some shading? Oh yes. What do we take? Titanium white. Gonna give a very, very subtle angle to the nail. The shine of the nail, eh? It's a polished nail. Yes. So it doesn't show much, but it's very subtle there. Yeah, it's subtly done. Slightly turning it gray in one of the parts. All right, so we have done that. We need that black again in another place, which is the mouth area. Can we just define it properly now? That section, close to the jaw, mouth. Yeah, it has that ivory black coming in. Going up the nostril area. We'll leave it at that, and we will use, in case you have vermilion or any color, you can use it for the tongue. So right now we are done with the animal as such. We will come back to the tongue, then we use another color, or I think we can do it if you have a little bit of vermilion around already. In my case, I have a bit of vermilion from one of the sessions, so I'm going to take it and place it again in that section. But is it the same color to be filled in? There's a slight lighter tonality. What I'm going to do is to take a bit of white and I'm going to blend it in some of the places. So it looks slightly pinkish in some of the places, and then it is really dark close to the upper side. Yes, I think he's there. I'm going to use the remaining to make a dot on him also. Yes, just the dot there. Let him also have it. Good. Yes, right now we need to. You also, you'll ask, okay, why not the bull? Yeah, we'll also have a dot on him. Yes. Bindi for everyone. Good. Taken care of. Let's move on to the pleasant, beautiful mountains and the sky. Yes. Moving up, I'm going to bring the canvas down. Let's see how far we can reach with this game today. I'm going to start with the mountains in the middle. Yeah. And for the mountains, I have the titanium white already. I am going to add. I want the sky blue really for the sky, the primary blue for the sky. So I'm thinking if I should switch to another blue. Or yeah, let me just see if I have another option. I would like to use it. I have, lucky me, I have Prussian blue. Prussian blue is slightly different from the okay. It's slightly different from the kind of blue that we have been using so far. It's on the darker side. If you have indigo, you can also try. Or if you have only ultramarine or primary blue, and you're wondering, okay, how do I create a differentiation here? You can try to add a little bit of ivory black or burnt umber to give it a twist. Yeah. So I'm going to use Prussian blue here. Yes. And I will take a angular brush. Titanium white, whatever is left over. Let me add that blue here. Do you see that this is slightly on the darker side? Yes, this is one tonality. I will use this and I will use this blue itself, this one and titanium white. So I have this mixed color. I'm going to take another brush for only Prussian blue, an angular brush for the mixed color, and I will take another flat brush maybe for the titanium white without any, any color mixed. So we know the contours, but let's just mark it. So I'm going to take the Prussian blue on my zero brush, and I'm going to mark the mountains. Yeah, when it comes close to Shiva and Shakti, just be careful, isn't it? So I'm going to mark the contours like this. Does this make sense? For someone that is a little bit paranoid, okay, I don't want to paint in the wrong area or such. So I'm just going to mark the contour. Usually I would like to mark the contour in the lightest of the tone, which is the white. But it is just for your benefit here that I'm doing. So in case you want to mark the contour, maybe use something lighter so it's easy for you to blend in later. I'm doing it the hard way so it can be covered clearly on a camera. Yeah, so you can see it better on the camera, but this isn't the best way. It will take slightly more time. You can do it faster if you're using it in a, what do you call, let's say white to do a contour, or if you're someone who's really good with contours and say, okay, I don't need these lines, just start painting away the mountains. That's also a great idea. So I'm doing this section first, marking those contours. Yeah. This is a section we were working a lot on today, so I'm just continuing there. And I'm using, what am I going to do? I'm going to use the mixed color. Start filling in, pulling up that. Yeah, now I need quite a bit of oil, because I haven't been refilling at all. Yes. Cold pressed raw linseed oil. Refilled a bit on my tin lid. And we are back. How are we doing with the time? I think we can manage the mountain today. Okay. So look at the way I'm pulling up those contour lines that I made. I'm pulling them up, pushing them towards the spaces, and then doing it in the mountainous angle also. Starts blending, and I will add titanium white shortly as well. And I do the sides, remember that. Yeah. Don't take too much of oil. It will start flowing into the painting in the locations that you don't want to. You want it only on the mountainous areas and not dripping into Shiva or Shakti's face or body. Yeah. Keep that in mind and let's fill it this side. This side is pretty easy. The next side has got quite a bit of challenge. Yeah. We will move there when we come to it. So I'm just mixing it here, blending it in. It's a blue mountain. I'm just leaving a slight tinge of space to show that there is this line coming up of the flower. I'm going to take a bit more of titanium white. Yeah. So I'm just mixing that titanium white here to make it ever so light in the portions where I want it to look slightly lighter. And I keep that, triangular image of the mountain there. I have to blend in more from the blue that I took and I used in the contour lines. You don't have to do it if you haven't used this kind of blue. Isn't that okay? Kind of looks like mountain. Yes, it does here. We move on to the other side. This is where the challenge comes. Yes, let me show you this. Right. Let's quickly pick up the zero brush for the contours. Look at the places, starting with the place where you see Shiva's shoulder. Be mindful of those contours of his fingers. There's so many places that are slightly, what do you call, in a way, it's really difficult to achieve. Yeah. So in this place, if I'm going to go back with a titanium white and ever so light colors, just doing this, filling it in up front. So it still looks bluey, but look at the blue. It's slightly different from the skin blue that we have used on Shiva. That's why I switched to Prussian blue. Cool. That's done. Let's go to the next complicated portion. All right, that is, yes, close to his elbows. The trident, close to the elbows, trident, the ear of the bull, the haunch of the bull. And remember the angle, it has to be giving a feeling that it's a mountains. So it should be, a crisscross angle that we are trying to give, and make sure that the contours are cleared and it's blended naturally to the color here. If you feel a little bit, uncomfortable blending in with this brush, you can switch to a smaller brush. It will just slow you down a bit, but if it makes you comfortable, that doesn't matter, I think. Adding a bit more white, lighten up that space. Lighten up, yes. Here. This is okay, this is done. Now I'm going to work on this remaining portion. I'm going to use the zero brush to do the contour, starting with the contour of the mountain here. That's an easy one. And then coming down, yes, Shiva's hand. Yes, coming down is close to his elbow, but you come down directly to the tridents and the horn angle of the animal, its head, the other horn. Do you see all that? Yes. Good. And then you come back down to the bull's ear. The neck, and I will possibly, leave it like that. We have the sides also to work on, isn't it? So we're going to do that. And right now I'm going to take quite a bit of white and in the zero brush to blend it in here. There's a very tiny, what do you call that, tiny space here, close to the horn and I don't want to spoil it. I'm just using the zero brush to blend it in, bring it out. So it's easier to handle when I use the bigger brush. Yeah. All right, done. Let's use the other brush, taking more of titanium white and pushing this in. I want it to be lighter here, isn't it? So I'm doing that lighter here. Then I will darken it with the help of blue later. Nearly there. The mountains contours, I'm doing it slightly darker, and then when I bring it down close to the cow, it gets lighter. Contours can be better merged, I feel. It's okay. You're nearly there, yes. Hang on to it. We have a nice blue mountainous space. The blue mountain will give us the option to have it really icy white also in some of the places wherever we want. It looks complete for me here. But the corner, yes, that's not done. Let's finish that. So you didn't see me doing that corners, but then you will get to see this one. Yes, I'm taking a bit of blue and white, and you can actually fill it in up and down, but make sure that it's in alignment with the mountain shape. So you go crisscross also. Right. Okay. That's how it looks. Oh yeah, fantastic. So let's make a stop here and assess what we have done today. Or can we do one small thing today before we? It's the zero brush, the cerulean blue, or sorry, the Prussian blue, the conch. Do you see the conch? That's something that he uses. It's an instrument that he uses to call out to people. Yes. We never filled it in. We just fill it in. I wanted a blue conch, and that's why I didn't fill anything last time. Yeah. We managed that as well today. Fantastic. So let's summarize. This has been an interesting journey today. We did the line, to all the way. We also learned a little bit about Bindi today. And then we did the background, the Blue Mountain. And it wasn't so easy. We also had to do the contours and make sure that nothing gets spoiled and so on. Yeah. So that's what we did to summarize. We also are going to do something similar in the next class. To start with, we will do the sky, and that means a lot of contouring. Can you see? Oh Lord, yeah. But don't be disappointed. I'm here with you. We'll go over every single contour and do that line. I will try to make it in a color that you can see properly, and then I will try to blend it in. Yeah. So we will do the sky, and once the sky is done, we will work on the remaining elements that we have missed to do, like the trident, for example, and the flower, and the damaru, and all these nice things. And also Ganga comes in last. We will also do that, and then we will come back to the base. That is the what do you call, the green grass, or yeah, something like that. The floor. So that's the plan for the next class. Thank you very much for attentively participating and trying your best with this. It's not an easy painting. I totally understand the challenges with this. It doesn't really come out so easily. And if you're doing a better job at this, and I'm so proud of you, I must say, please keep on sharing your comments, feedback, queries, concerns, and also pictures to support at the GLAC Studio. I will try to look into it and try to support you personally on your journey as well, wherever possible and wherever needed. Thank you very much again. See you in the next class. Be good. Stay hydrated. Bye bye.